Some time ago, Ara from Bentley House Miniature made this chair from a sock, and I was allowed to use her pattern for the chair for this 1:6 doll. So I actually printed out the pattern in a bigger size, that is in 200%. Then I cut out the pieces that I need and I drew them onto some MDF wood, and this is 6 mm. I cut all the parts out and sanded them so they all were nice and smooth. Then I took my wood glue, this is Patek's wood glue, and I'm going to glue together the sides of the back and the bottom of this chair. And I'm just going to do it like you see me do right here. Then I'm going to leave it to dry so it's all hardened before I continue with this one. Then I take my glue and I glue on the second part of the bottom. Let that dry before you continue. Now it's time for the legs, and I'm going to take 2 dowels for that. And I'm taking my ruler and I'm placing it a little crooked, and then I'm just drawing where to cut on both of these pieces. This is for the back legs. And I'm going to make 2 straight pieces that have the same weight as my ruler. And after marking these, then I am going and cutting them on my scroll saw. And then I just go and glue these pieces on, as you see me do right here. So the ones with the angle on is going on the back of the chair, just like this. And the straight ones are going on the front of the chairs. Then I have these disposable washcloths that I am going to use for some padding on my chair. And I'm going to take 2, so the layers is a bit thicker. And I'm going to place them and cut them into size so they fit around the chair and around the arms on the chair. I'm going to glue all that onto my chair just with a single bead of glue, not too much because I don't want it to be all hard and annoying. So just so that it sticks to the chair. Then I find the fabric that I want to use for this one. I have this nice blue fabric with the stars on that I like. And I place the chair on it so that I can kind of roll it on the fabric. I have this fabric pin that I'm going to draw on my fabric on the bad side of the fabric. And I'm making sure that it's bigger than your chair so that I can glue it and put it on the chair as you see me do here. And I'm gonna do that all the way around, and I'm stretching the fabric while doing it. I did the same thing on the other side and I cut off the excess fabric. Now I'm going to make the arm thing, and for that I take an extra piece of this washcloth, placing it, and I'm going to glue underneath it so that it will sit exactly where I want it and the fabric is placed as I want it. Do the same thing on the other side of the chair so the arms is alike. Then I'm going to cut off some of the excess fabric here at the bottom of my chair, but I'm still leaving enough fabric so that I can fold it over the bottom and glue it on. After I glued the fabric onto the bottom, I cut off the excess, and here I'm actually putting a tiny bit more of glue where I cut off the excess fabric. This way it will not fray and it will stay in place and stay nice. Now I'm just going to make the armrests, and I'm going to do the same on both ones as I do on this one. So just copy me. When that is done, I have this piece of fabric that I cut so it is twice the length as this piece in front here, and I'm folding it so that the connection of the two pieces are connected on the back side. And then I'm just gluing it on this front piece, and I'm gluing it down on the top here and on the bottom of my chair, just like you see that I'm doing here, and make sure that everything is secure and nicely glued. I cut the side pattern for the sides of the chair a bit smaller so that it can fit inside here also when I put the fabric around. Then I use some thick cardstock and I am cutting 2 of these shapes out. I cut out the fabric for this one piece and I'm going to cut in some small indents in the fabric here so it's easier to fold around this cardstock. Then I glue the fabric on to this little piece so that it is sitting tight and neat around it. And watch your hot glue because it's really hot, and yes, I just burned my finger. When you're done with this one, make the other one and remember to turn it around so it mirrors this one. Now just glue the side pieces in and they will look nice and neat. I cut out the cardboard piece that I need for the back of the chair, and I made sure that it is small enough to go in between the 2 pieces we just made. I took 2 pieces of washcloth and cut them into size, and now I'm just going to glue my fabric onto that. And I cut the fabric out as you see here, and I made some small slices around the corners so that it is easier to glue on in a nice way. and I'm going to glue that into place. Now it's time for the seat, and I made sure that it fits nice and good in there before I continued working on it. Then I took 2 pieces of washcloth and I am going to cut out so that I actually can have 4 of them on this little seat, so it's nice and cozy. I cut my fabric in shape and then I'm going to glue it down so I can put this onto the chair. And then when it is ready, I'm just going to glue it onto my chair. As the fabric is not looking really nice in some of these connections, I decided to take some of this ribbon or lace ribbon that I had lying around, and I'm just going to glue it down here in the seam where the connections are made, so that it's more neat, and it also gives it a little more cool look for the chair. You don't have to do this step, but I had to hide a few bad spots. And we are finally there. It's all done and I love the result of this one. Thank you, Ara, for letting me use your pattern. After a few pictures I will show you here of the chair, I will leave a link for Ara's video from Bentley House Miniature, so you can make this chair yourself if you want to. And I will leave a link for that video in the info box below also. Thank you for watching and happy crafting!